Welcome to part 2 of making iridium. Now I'm going to make iridium with the infrared fiber laser. That's because that's the best technology I have for making iridium. You can also make it with a blue laser. The difference is going to be the blue laser process is going to be extremely slow. And it'll take, I don't know how long, gold takes about a few hours to get almost a 20 parts per million solution, and iridium and gold are similar in hardness. So I'm thinking if you do use a blue laser, you're looking at about the same thing, several hours to get a 20 parts per million solution of iridium. You're probably not going to see any color from it. According to the AI, we should have a lightish color when we're done with the infrared laser. And the reason for the color on the infrared laser is we're using a lot more material when we use the infrared laser. It can remove more material from the metal at a time than the blue laser can. So I'm hoping we'll get like a 30 or 40 parts per million. Could be more, but I am going to be very conservative on how I cook the iridium in the infrared laser, because the iridium is so thin that the infrared laser could probably burn a hole right through the iridium fairly quickly. So I'm going to go very conservative with my settings and my power levels. I'm going to check it every 5 minutes, make sure that we're not gouging huge amounts of material out of the thing, and take it a little slow and see what we get. The blue laser, you don't have to worry all that much about it because it's like gold. When I used the blue laser to make nanoparticle gold, never even saw a dent in the material used, but we created nanoparticles. And that's really what's spectacular about the blue laser, but it takes so slow to do it, and you don't get a high concentration. So I'm going to be using the infrared fiber laser, and we're going to see what happens. And that's the first process. I haven't drank any iridium, haven't made any iridium. This is what I'm doing first. I got my sample here, my container, which contains the kit that holds the thing. On here is my piece of iridium. Here it is. This is going to go into the top of my rig here. It holds it in place. That way the laser is focused exactly where we need it. I'm going to be adding sodium citrate, 75 milligrams of this stuff. This is a 5 milliliter solution, and that's to stabilize it, because with the higher power laser and the higher concentrations that we're making, we need to stabilize it. Silicon is also a good stabilizer. I use it for all of my nanoparticles, and it's in a little squirt bottle here. You really only need to do a few drops. Whoops, I missed there. A couple squirts of silicone just to increase stability. There we go. Next step, top off with distilled water. Make sure you get it all up as close to the tippy top of this container as possible. And now we put it into the infrared laser and see what happens. We're going to let it run for 5 minutes and see what happens, and then I'll come back and we'll take a look. I stopped it at 6 minutes. There is the picture over there. We have about a 60 parts per million concentration of iridium. I've used about 2.4 milligrams of material, which is consistent with gold, platinum, and palladium usage and nanoparticle creation. So we're good there. We didn't use a whole lot extra material, and it's right in line. The material, the color is a light silvery color. It's very hard to see here. I only cook it to 60 parts per million because I wanted to see what color tint we have, which is an indication of the particle size. So because it's a silverish tint, it means we got particle sizes of 20 nanometers or under, which is actually very good. But storing that at 60 parts per million is, the AI kind of hints that it could be a problem. And that's the problem I'm having with all of the nanoparticles that I'm creating. Anything over 30 parts per million becomes a little unstable. And I don't want to ship anything over 30 parts per million either, because I haven't had a lot of great results with people taking higher concentrations. And being that the stuff becomes unstable after a certain amount of time, I'm leaning towards 30 parts per million solutions, which is what I've done over time for years. 20 to 30 parts per million is a really good density for nanoparticles. So I've took my actually 250 milliliters of fluid, added another 250 milliliters of distilled water, and got my 60 parts per million down to about 30 parts per million, which is the recommended concentration to keep it at for maximum stability. It still has retained, it's mostly clear and you really can't see it, but it has a slight silverish color to it, but it was definitely more noticeable in the higher concentration than the lower concentration. So now we need to drink it. Need to drink the stuff. What do you think? Ready for a glass of this stuff? Ooh, let's see what happens here. A glass. No, not a glass. We'll start with a teaspoon of it. A glass. This is my shot glass, which has all of the markings on it. We're going to put in 1 teaspoon, up to the 1 teaspoon mark, and down the hatch. Now we'll see what happens and let you guys know what this Iridium is supposed to do. That'll be part 3, the results of Iridium. I'm Tom, Alchemy Wizard. Have a great day, wizards.